Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit in current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you, and then remind you. Actually, before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. Big Irv is in the house. Welcome. Glad to have you with us.
Good morning.
Let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we're celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Having beaten anorexia, I'm looking at what are we going to celebrate, and it is National Devil's Food Cake Day. You know, I have to look at some of these things. Josh, I'm looking at these things. It's Devil's Food Cake Day, and I'm dieting. So what's the deal here? I don't get. I know it's Devil's Food Cake Day because I see it on one screen, but it's not showing up on the other. Oh, maybe it's just my screens are slow today. Yes, I'm still taking the shot. 57 pounds now. 57 pounds lost. I still have another whole bunch to go. But hey, you know something? How do they say it? One day at a time. Right? Okay, so let's see what else.
That's the key.
Do we? Yeah. So, you know, it's of course. I don't know. I'll take another shot today or tomorrow. Those shots, if you're overweight, you know they're a life changer. And I'm going to just share a little bit because I can. Now, rsrlinks.com/shot if you're following the journey. rsrlinks.com/shot. But for the longest time, you know, I've been a couch potato. I still am a couch potato. But I went to, you know, if I'm not doing a live radio show, almost every time there's no live, unless I've got an appearance that I've got to go to. So I go out to the beach down Balboa Island. I'm down there real early. It's not even light yet. And I walk the island. The small island is 1.7 miles around. Got it down. I've been doing that since 2007, right after I had bariatric bypass surgery. And when my knees aren't in really bad shape, I can go and walk the small island. That's 0.7 of a mile. So quick math, 1.7 plus 0.7. Oh, no, but 2.4 miles. Well, Saturday, I walked both islands. I haven't done that in years. Sunday, I walked both islands. And then at the end of the day, I said, you know something? I'm going to take the dog for a lap around the neighborhood. That's 0.7 of a mile. So what is that? Almost a little over 3 miles yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You know something? It feels good. And that's with 57 pounds lost. I'm still going to go for another probably 40 or 50 more. So follow the journey. If you want the same journey, it's these shots. And you know, $1,300 from Mounjaro or Zepbound, $1,300 a month. No. I go and use kind of an off-breed. It's almost the same, but they add B12 to it. Still a lot of money. It's a little over $400 a month, but you know, something you save money on food. So could follow that. And you know, the best part of it, I'm hoping that one of the benefits is that, something, I might be around a little longer to see my grandkids grow up. At 357 pounds, yeah, you may not be around a whole long time. Better than the 425 I was at before surgery, but that's a whole different story. Hey, let's see what the markets are doing today. I'll get off the top of it about me. Dow Jones is down 353. The S&P 500 is down 12.67. NASDAQ down 74.56. Oil is up 56 cents a barrel. And as I've shared with you many, many times, the markets always, and if I didn't say always, I'll say it again, always overreact. What is the overreaction? Well, Moody's downgraded our debt at 12:50 Pacific time, right before the markets close on Friday. They downgraded U.S. debt. The markets took a major dump right after that. Now, do you think anybody really cares what Moody's is doing? Moody's is the last one to the party, right? S&P 500 and I forgot the other one. My mind went blank. But they had downgraded 10 years ago. But I get it because we're spending way too much money, and that's just nuts. We can't keep it. Our debt is way too high. You can't continue on that pace. But the bottom line is, does it matter? So when I see the market overreacts, well, the market opened up today down several hundred points, and now we're up 3.5. The market always overreacts. Now, you throw that in there with the media always lying. And I'm just going to tell you straight as it is.
What's the big idea?
So what are they talking about today? Walmart comes out with a story this morning saying they're going to have to raise prices because of tariffs. Okay? Now, you know what they didn't tell you? Now, Walmart wouldn't tell you this because what is Walmart's business? Making money. I don't begrudge them. What's the media's business? Well, there's some of them are supposed to tell you the news, but they don't. They're a business of making money. So they're just going to tell you what you want to hear. Now, for some reason, I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm old and whatever. Maybe we're not in the business of making money here. I don't know. But want to hear something that Walmart's not telling you? That prices on shipping have tanked. I shouldn't say that because they're tankers that bring the goods from Asia to here. But if you look at the Cass Freight Index, it shows you that the price of shipping containers is way down. Now, if you've got the cost of goods going up and the cost of shipping those goods going down, I was in that business. It almost washes. But they're not going to tell you that part. So just think of some of these concepts, and you got to really wonder why they're doing this. Is it politically motivated? No, I don't think so. I think what the issue is they're just looking to sell. They're looking to make money. And I don't begrudge them because we all need to make money to live. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, I've talked to you about this in the past. We're going to see about it again. Why would I move with a 3% mortgage? We're going to talk about it. I will tell you. I'm not sure we're going to get to it. Vacationing without guilt. What's happening in the only real estate market that matters? Your neighborhood. We're going to talk to Big Irv about that. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564, complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564. Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less? All without having to spend more each month than you spend right now. Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They only tell us the number you need to put into your mortgage calculator to find out what's happening with rates. Don't have a mortgage calculator? Why? It's free. rsrlinks.com/mobile app. rsrlinks.com/mobile app. What did rates do on Friday? Most of them were down. I guess that's because the averages were all done before the markets tanked from the Moody's report. Conventional 30-year fix, 6.818 down. Jumbo 30-year fix, 6.965 down. FHA 30-year fix, 6.552. That was up. The VA 30-year fix, 6.405. That was down. USDA 30-year fix, 6.398. I love the VA loan for the veterans because there's no down payment on it. If you're not using that VA loan and you're a veteran, I would promise you, it's going to cost you less to get into your new home than it'll cost you to get into a lease. Take advantage of that benefit. You earned it. It drives me crazy when I see veterans going out and renting when we know that they have a better option. If you want to, what's going on in the markets right now? Well, that's what we're going to tell you right now. The S&P 500 is now down 10 points. The 10-year Treasury, now it's only up 5 basis points. Again, it was up a lot more than that earlier in the day, and I told you why that was already. We're looking at, now see where, let me see if I can see where exactly that was. The 30-year mortgage bond, that one is down 16 basis points. When the bond goes down, the rate goes up. Eventually, the bonds are going to go down far enough that the traders are going to say, you know something? We can make money not only in the stock market, but why not buy treasury bonds? Why not buy mortgage bonds? You're getting a great yield on them right now. And oh yeah, the price of the bond can go up too, and you make money 2 ways. So we're looking at all those right now. As I look at it, the 10-year Treasury is down 1.7 basis points. It was all the way up earlier in the session. It was up at 4.55. Now it's down at 4.97. So already seeing, as I shared with you earlier in the broadcast, and I've been saying it since 2010 when I started doing the radio program, the markets always overreact. If you join in that overreaction, shame on you. I've told you. All you got to do is listen to us. We let you know that you don't need to be doing that. But what's driving the market right now? Well, there's not a whole lot of news right now. It all has to do with what happened with the Moody's downgrade. Again, $37 trillion in debt. Public debt to GDP is 123%, which is high compared to most other nations. Believe it or not, the U.S. debt to GDP ratio is similar to Italy and Portugal. Now, when we're being compared to Italy and Portugal, yeah, that's now here's the other one. I'm going to throw the rumor out with everybody else that's been talking about this other malarkey. Have you been hearing people saying that, well, China is going to sell U.S. debt? Okay, and Japan, they're the biggest holder of U.S. debt. They're going to sell. Okay, Japan, the numbers just came out. Japan is increasing their holdings. Great Britain, increasing their holdings. And China, they're not selling, but if their bonds mature, they're not reinvesting. Well, why wouldn't they reinvest? Oh yeah, their economy sucks. They need the money, right? They're hurting because who's their biggest customer? The U.S. And I told you 2 weeks ago that the U.S. is not buying. We're not buying from China because, as I've shared with you in the past, 145% tariffs do not mean anything more than a 100% tariff. And a 100% tariff doesn't mean anything more than a 75% tariff. It's called an embargo. No one is buying the goods at that size of a tariff. So the bottom line is, so now they've reduced them down to 30%. Okay, we might start buying again. But the bottom line is China's economy is hurting because they need consumers. What do you think is going to happen at a retail store if nobody buys their stuff? They got problems, right? Any business, car dealers, nobody buys cars, car dealers have problems. It's just a way of the world. Well, China, they're a manufacturing country. They've got cheap labor there. Well, people stop buying their stuff. They have problems. They lie about it all the time. I mean, probably no different than our media anymore, but that's a whole different story. That's the Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So last week I was on a call, and the conversation on the call was real estate values are going to drop, that people are not going to buy real estate. And the person that was, and I have a lot of respect for the gentleman that was making the assertions. He said real estate values are going to drop by 20%.
You know better than that.
Hasn't ever happened since the Great Depression. Even in the Great Recession, they didn't go down by 20%. So I said, what's the catalyst? Because no one ever asked that question. What's the catalyst? What's going to cause real estate values to drop by 20%? He said, well, maybe I'm overstating. Okay. Now, the thing that he and I did agree on was the only thing that really matters about real estate is local. What's happening? Because do you care what the national numbers are? I can give you every national statistic there is. But if you're looking to sell your house in Yorba Linda, California, does it matter what's happening in Bethesda, Maryland? Well, their house values are going to be dropping because you just heard yesterday the FBI is moving their offices to Alabama. But that's a different story. So let's talk to Big Irv Schwartz, Legacy Real Estate, and find out, because he's out there on the streets. He knows what's going on because he's talking to people. Big Irv, you think real estate values are going to drop 20% in Yorba Linda?
No.
I mean, are they going up? Are they going down? Are they flat?
It depends on the property, and it also depends on where the sales price, the list price is. You know, when people are pushing the price constantly, there's a breaking point.
So it goes kind of what I was saying about buying from China. At a certain point, nobody buys.
That's correct.
So if you want to list $1 million house for $3 million, probably not going to sell.
Probably not.
Now you have a listing. I don't even know how you have more. You have a listing we talked about before.
Yeah, I have currently I have a listing in Yorba Linda in an area called East Lake Village.
That's a nice
It's 4 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,672 square feet, approximately 10,000 square foot lot, single story on
That's
the
a big lot,
cul-de-sac.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Of course, Yorba Linda is known for large lots.
It's unique for the area there.
Yeah, because you wouldn't think on the water or in the water area.
Yeah, it's up the street. It's about 100 yards from the lake.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah.
So you can have your morning coffee and you can still go see it.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, what's that listed for?
It's listed for $1,424,999.
Okay, $1,424,000. We call it $1,425,000.
Yeah, you can call it $1 million. Yeah, I'll let you.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll let you.
Now, open house this weekend?
Yes, I did. I had
Okay.
open house. I mean, I had 20 open house signs out.
Right.
You know, in the
Anybody show?
morning, early morning, I had 17 groups of people come through, and 3 agents showing it.
Okay, so 3 agents tells me the property is priced fair, right? I mean, because anybody can see a sign and say, no, I want to go see what that's like.
Correct.
Right, but an agent's not going to bring a family by
Yes.
if they don't see that it's some value.
Correct.
So in that area, obviously, there's still people out shopping.
Absolutely.
Whether they're buying or not, we don't know yet.
Yeah, there's several homes that came on the market in the last about week. In the surrounding area in East Lake Village.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is, if you want to know about how stats, and I'm a stats guy.
Sure.
So we can go to rsrlinks.com/market report.
Okay.
rsrlinks.com/market report. Now that's going to tell you the stats for any area you want to look at. And we can look at Yorba Linda and see, because the last time I looked at Yorba Linda, it's a desirable area. I mean, I know Yorba Linda pretty well.
Sure.
Right. I mean, besides, you got the Nixon Library, obviously, there, and that's a nice attraction. But I mean, there's a lot of big properties, a lot of golf courses, a lot of nice restaurants.
Sure.
Not a huge amount of crime. I mean, it's, I'm sure they've got theirs as much as anybody else does.
Correct.
But
it's probably one of the lowest in the whole.
Pardon?
I say it's one of the lowest in the whole area there in California, for that matter.
Yeah, you don't want to mess around, because I drive through Yorba Linda getting to the office, and there's a 40 zone and a 35 zone, and I use my cruise control because there's police there.
That's right.
They're out there.
The sheriffs are out and they're monitoring.
Yeah. Now
everybody.
I am looking right now. There's a whopping in the entire city. There's 63 homes for sale.
Yeah.
So now, if I was the Main Street media, I'd be saying that the real estate has doubled in Yorba Linda, the amount of properties for sale.
Okay.
Because it was at 36 in January, that's next to nothing.
Correct.
And now 63 is still a pretty small number for an entire city.
Well, more homes are coming on the market because a lot of people think that this is the time to sell. But actually, as statistics have shown, is that the most homes are sell between January and the end of May. So what happens in June?
Well, wait a second. You're the expert here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about that when we come back.
Correct.
What happens in June? You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, more with Big Irv. We're going to continue talking about real estate. It's local. Why would I move with a 3% mortgage? We'll tell you why and more. Reach me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Do you believe Southern California real estate is a great investment? Are you a little short to be a cash investor? Are you missing the Social Security card or tax returns? The Siegel Lending Team has the loans for you. Common Sense Lending is back. Yes, there's a cost to higher risk, but the reward can be great. Call today for details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 217037 and DRE number 1869452. Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037 and DRE number 018694452.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit RonSiegelRadio.com. Do you own a luxury home or planning to purchase one? If so, your home may be your largest asset, but your mortgage may also be your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team is offering amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates in the 3%, and 15-year rates in the 2s. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com or call me directly. My number is 800-306-1990, licensed under NMLS 217037. Equal housing lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Why would I move with a 3% mortgage? If you have a 3% mortgage rate, you're probably pretty hesitant to let that go. And even if you've toyed with the idea of moving, this nagging thought may be holding you back. Why would I give that up? But when you ask that question, you may be putting your needs on the back burner without realizing it. Most people don't move because of their mortgage rate. They move because they want or need to. So let's flip the script and ask this instead. What are the chances you'll still be in the current house 5 years from now? Think about your life for a moment. Picture what the next few years will hold. Are you planning on growing your family? Do you have adult children about to move out? Is retirement on the horizon? Are you already bursting at the seams? If nothing's going to change and you love where you are, staying put might make perfect sense. But if there's even a slight chance a move is coming, even if it's not immediate, it's worth thinking about your timeline, because even a year or two can make a big difference in what your next home might cost you. What the experts are saying about home prices over the next 5 years, each quarter, Fannie Mae asks more than 100 housing market experts to weigh in on where they project home prices are headed, and the consensus is clear. Home prices are expected to rise through at least 2029. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490, FM 98.1 video feeds, you're seeing a chart of home prices continuing to rise December to December as forecast in the first quarter of 2025. Look at that. All these experts, they come with the average amount. 2025, they're saying a 3.41% appreciation. 2026, 3.33. 2027, 3.72. 2028, 3.98. And 2029, 3.98. As you've heard me say before, the Home Price Expectation Survey, which is done by Fannie Mae, the best out there because it's a wide range of forecasters. Put them all together, you're going to get a better number. Think about a bowl of jelly beans. If you guess how many jelly beans are in the bowl, well, you may or may not be right. But if you have 1,000 people guessing, I bet the average comes out closer than just you. That's the same with house numbers. While those projections aren't calling for big increases each year, it's still an increase. And sure, some markets may see flatter prices or slower growth, or even slight dips in the short term. But look further out. In the long run, prices almost always rise. And over the next 5 years, the anticipated increase, however slight, will add up fast. Remember, that's national. Our numbers usually are about 5% here in Southern California. Here's an example. Let's say you're looking to buy a roughly $400,000 house when you move. Yes, it's national. Big Herb's laughing at me because it's triple that in Orange County. Mm-hmm. If you wait and move 5 years from now, based on these expert projections, it could cost nearly $80,000 more than it would now. Remember I said triple? Now, if my math is right, 3 times 80,000 is about $240,000 more. That means the longer you wait, the more your future home will cost. If you know a move is likely in your future, it may make sense to really think about your timeline. You certainly don't have to move now, but financially, it may still be worth having a conversation about your options before prices inch higher. Because while rates are expected to come down, it's not by much. And if you're holding out in hopes we'll see the return of 3% rates, experts agree, not in the cards. And I'm going to tell you, I hope they don't get there. And I'm in the lending business. The only reason mortgage rates would get to 3% is because we got a crappy economy. Do you want that? I don't. Look at the chart again of where experts think the interest rates are going to be. The question really isn't why would I move? It's when should I move? Because when you see the real numbers, waiting may not be the saving strategy you thought it was. And that's the best conversation you can have with a trusted agent right now. We're sitting with one. Keeping that low mortgage rate is smart until it starts holding you back. If a move is likely on the horizon for you, even if it's a few years down the line, it's worth thinking through the numbers now so you can plan ahead. What other price point do you want to see the numbers for? Give me a call at 800-306-1990. That's why I'm a CLA, a certified liability advisor. I help families build wealth through strategic debt management. We'll put the numbers on a chart, see if waiting makes sense for you. And then I'll put you in touch with a great real estate agent in your neighborhood. If you're in North Orange County, talk to Big Irv. He's with us right now. That's a real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Continuing our conversation, Big Irv is in the house. Yeah. studio audience, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so before the break, we were talking about this property that you have and properties in general
Yes.
and the concept of where properties may be going. And you asked a question, and I'm going to give it back to you
Sure.
because you're the expert.
Okay.
What happens in June?
Well, in June, there's graduations, people go on vacation, there's celebrations. During that time when
All that
they're
distractions.
correct, they're not
Okay.
thinking about typically buying or selling a home.
People want to be in their house before, for the school year.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make that decision. And so do you see the number of listings diminish in June?
Personally, I've experienced in my now 3 decades of real estate that typically it goes up.
The amount of listings go
Mhm.
up.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So there's
Because more people think that that's the right time. And
Okay.
oftentimes, if they're, retiring or something like that, they want to move. Maybe they've even found another place. But what I'm noticing, and I noticed this past week or two, is that now someone sees a house they really want, but then they have to sell. So, personally, I feel that you're going to have more contingencies that are going to come about. Like, oh, okay, I want to buy your house, but it's contingent on me selling mine.
Okay. So obviously, people that have listened to Ron Siegel Radio for any length of time know that our listeners don't have that problem. Why? Because our friends at Geneva Financial have what's called the transition loan. You can actually go out and pay cash for the new house. We give you the money, of course,
Mhm.
and keep the old house. And you've got a loan based on both properties. And then you've got to make sure you get that other house sold. Now, why is that important? Because you got to talk to a professional real estate agent like Irv and talk to him about the idea of, something. I got to price I found a house, Big Irv.
Mhm.
We want to buy it. But now what we need to do is we need to make sure that we price aggressively
Correct.
to get that prior one sold,
Mhm.
right? Because we can help you without making payments and all those things, depending upon qualifications. But the whole idea is to do what's right for your family. I think it starts with a consultation. How do you work?
Absolutely. That's the first step. And one of the things that I think I do differently is that I focus on the first question is just, obviously, why are you planning on moving? Where do you plan on moving to? But do you have that next step planned and ready? Because selling the house is just one step. The idea is where are you going to go? No one wants to live in a hotel or, even be homeless for that matter.
Yeah, most of us prefer to live indoors,
Correct.
especially as it gets hotter.
It helps.
Yeah. So, you look at some of these things and you just start saying, you gotta have a plan.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to submit, Big Irv, that the question that you asked
Mhm.
is the perfect question. Why do you want to move?
Correct.
The problem is most people haven't thought deeply enough, right? I want to be closer to my kids. Well, why
Okay.
do you want to be closer to your kids? Right? It's not that I'm antagonistic with
Mhm.
it. Is generally for us to really get into the real motivation and to help somebody get to that motivation, right? I mean, I don't know anybody that would tell me they don't want to win the lottery, right?
Well, if you have to play it first.
But if I said, Bigger, I'm going to give you $1 million,
Mhm.
are you going to tell me no? No strings attached, Bigger. I might even give you a jet for $400 million.
Perfect. Where do I sign?
Okay. So the thing is you're going to say yes. Do you want $1 million? No. Because I know that you don't want $1 million because my bet is you're not going to put it on your coffee table and just let it sit there.
No.
You have something you want to do with it,
Correct.
right? Some sort of legacy that's
Mhm.
important to
Yeah.
you, right? So why is somebody moving? Because they want to be closer to their kids. They want to be, they don't need that big house. They don't need those payments. We
Mhm.
have to get to what, we need to help people get, as that consultation, I'm
The
sure
big
that's
why.
what you do,
Mhm.
is
Absolutely.
deeper,
Yeah.
right? What's important about it?
Well, what's driving the move?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't want to, I don't want to have the maintenance of a big property.
I'm
Okay.
hearing a lot of that too.
Do you?
Typically, you have people that are scaling down from, or what they call downsizing or right sizing.
Right sizing.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things that happens
Mhm.
when you've been in the industry for 3 decades,
Mhm.
right? Because that means you're old, like me, or getting there. We hope to. Right. And the people that we're around.
Age is nothing more than mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter.
No, but you're right. But my point is that as we get a little bit older, the people that we're around are a little older, unless we're helping their kids. Right. I mean, if you're somebody that's 25, 30 years old getting into real estate, you're surrounded by newlyweds and you're surrounded by people that are just graduating college or just starting to have kids, and they're looking for the next bigger house or their first house. You know, when you're older like you and I, well, me, myself for sure.
Okay.
You're going to agree to that. Okay, bigger.
Sure.
Right. The people that we're around are, you know, my peers are starting to have kids or grandkids, I mean.
And I really enjoy working with seniors. I'm also certified as a SRES, Senior Real Estate Specialist,
Okay,
and
so
also to do probates as well. So yeah.
So you're out there, you know, and we can do a whole show on probates, which I have, right? Because probates are, to me, it's one of the worst things out there. It just means that we didn't plan for our kids, our heirs.
That's correct.
Right? Because there shouldn't be any probates, yet it's a massive amount of.
Well, people keep putting it off, and I understand that, but the idea
Not
is
going to happen to me.
putting it off. It's like putting off the pain, but then when it comes, then you're in it, and so the idea is make sure that you plan so your children, grandchildren, whatever, don't have to have that burden on their shoulders.
It's a tough conversation, but my comment is that it's the best gift you can ever give.
Absolutely.
Yours. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, Borrow Smart. We're going to talk about the best loan on the market, bar none. And there's only about 3 companies that offer it. We're going to also continue our conversation with Big Irv. What's happening in real estate right now? You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at RonIsMyLender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. RonIsMyLender.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by GetHomeSelect.com, GetHomeSelect.com. Best loan on the market, bar none. Now, not everybody qualifies for it, but without a doubt, it is the best loan on the market. And not just because we're one of only 2 companies at Geneva that has it available, but we are. But the bottom line is if you qualify for it, why wouldn't you want a loan right now that has an effective interest rate under 3%, maybe even under 2%? I've seen them at 1.77 was the last one we did just a couple weeks ago. Why wouldn't you want a loan that, when I just looked at the numbers that came out, and our friend Danielle DiMartino Booth has a great newsletter that she puts out on a regular basis. And it's the consumer sentiment came out from the University of Michigan. Probability of losing the job in the next 5 years. 21.8% of the people say that. That is the highest number that we've seen in a long time. It's even above the great financial crisis of 2009, 2010. Now, why do I bring that up when I'm talking about a home loan? Well, the Home Select loan, if you have that, you don't worry about it, because maybe you don't even want to make a mortgage payment and you don't have to. What if your mortgage payment goes down every month? We don't see that too often. And you have a benefit of a low interest rate, or the interest rate is high, the effective interest rate is low. Now, you hear people say, Ron, I like my 3% loan. And I said, I like Benjamin Franklin. And if I can get his picture on the front of a piece of paper, I like that better than a 3% loan, because I can go out to dinner with that Benjamin Franklin paper. Think about it. We want the lower expenses, not the lower interest rate. The interest rate is meaningless if you can get the lower interest. And people say, well, Ron, how do you get a high interest rate and a low interest expense? It's because the way the loan works, it's got a sweep account and you're paying principal all the time, and you only pay interest on the money that's being used at any given day. So your interest expense goes down, your effective interest rate goes down, you get your loan paid off quicker. And it's not just for the rich and famous, because I've got a friend of mine that has a relatively small mortgage. I think it was like $300,000. He had a great interest rate of 2.875, and his effective rate is going to go to 1.776. Under his current situation, it was going to take him 25 and a half years to pay it off. Under his new loan, he's going to be paid off in 8 years. Got to follow the rules. It's not for everybody. I don't make guarantees. I can only show you. I can't lead you to water. That's the Home Select loan from our friends at Geneva Financial. If you want more information, get homeselect.com, get homeselect.com. Continuing our conversation, we are chatting with Big Irv. He's in the office. He's a real estate professional. He's in North Orange County. But during the break, Big Irv brought something up that, I hadn't thought about, but that's because he's here, he does it. I talk about the idea of $400,000 we talked about as a $400,000 home. And Big Irv just sold 2 of them that are pretty much averaging $400,000 in Southern California.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know the people. I don't know anything about it. But I'm going to say that if somebody's a younger person and they can get into a home for $400,000, do it. Get started. Right? We've talked about on the program many times, if you can buy 5 houses by the time you're 45 years old, keeping every one of them, stepping up, you're going to be retired by the time you're 55 years old. Right? I mean, because real estate values appreciate. So just, were the people that you sold those to, was that their forever home or was it starter homes?
The one, I sold one in Paris. We just closed this past week. And just a note of information, he bought it 5 years ago for like $265, and it just closed at just under 4.25.
4.25. So he made about $160,000, 5 years. Can we call that about $40,000 a year?
Yeah.
So,
and the person that bought it is a young gentleman just starting out, a little 2-bedroom, 2-bath.
Nice.
Yeah.
So go back to the first person. He got $40,000 a year in appreciation. And, that's almost like another salary or another half salary. Yeah. Based on median numbers around the country. It's probably another salary within the household just by living. And I'm guessing because he owned a house that he likes living indoors,
Sure.
right? I mean,
It always helps.
yeah. So the bottom line there is
Mhm.
just by doing what you're doing every day, get another salary, another half a salary.
Correct.
Okay, so now he's stepping up.
hmm He's
Or
kind
stepping
of
out.
contemplating. Yeah. He's just deciding what he wants to do.
Okay, so again, everybody's got their reasons for what
Correct.
they do. Okay, the one that you had over the weekend that you were doing the open house for in
Mhm.
Yorba Linda,
Yes.
and I rounded off to $1,425,000.
Sure. That's fine.
Right, so that's basically a median price home. It's a
Mhm.
little bit more than median price
Sure.
in Orange County.
Mhm.
So yeah, and where it's located, how that one you said was what,
East Lake Village.
4 bedrooms. So
Yeah,
that's a
4
family
bedroom.
home.
Mhm. Yes.
Uh,
And it's moving ready. It's been completely.
and
done
Yorba Linda's
inside.
good school districts.
Mhm.
So you've got a lot of strength right there. And I'm just trying to look here real quick and see if I can find the median pricing in Yorba Linda. That's probably right around
Mhm.
median new listings is $1,637,000.
Yeah. Well, the one thing also that's unique about this house is that it's ideal for someone that maybe have some relatives, family that need a single story that's kind of handicapped or wheelchair accessible, wider.
Okay, so now
doorways
Bigger
and
is going
such.
back to talk about old people again, like me. I need double knee replacements. So
Sure.
a single story house. As we age, you hear a lot of people that want a
Absolutely.
single story.
They
house,
don't want to go up and down stairs.
right, or they can't.
Hmm
So, but the bottom line here is there's still opportunity out there to buy
Absolutely.
houses.
Absolutely.
And it's not like it's getting to be everything's relative, but
Mhm.
it's not unaffordable. When you're talking about being right around the median home price,
Sure.
but the bottom line is why do you want it? And you had 17 groups go through that.
Hmm Yeah.
So there's a lot of interest. So do you think that you're going to get offers on that one right away?
There's
You have a sense?
Well, we'll see. We'll see how the week goes.
Okay. So the bottom line is you're what I like to always find out
Hmm
is strategy, because I'm a big person. If you watch a show, strategy beats
Sure.
rate always. But there's some agents that like the idea of pricing high to negotiate down, and there's some agents that price at market value, and some like to price low
Mhm.
because they just want to attract the mobs.
Sure.
What is your belief on all that?
Well, to get the most money is that, it pricing it on that lower side definitely helps. And the thing is, I think there's a misnomer that most people think, well, I'm not going to take an offer that low. It's like, okay, you don't have to. But the thing is that in the event you're able to create like an auction type event, that's where you have multiple people. And that could create the opportunity for multiple offers.
What
And that
happens
seems-
to the request for repairs when you have multiple offers?
It's up for debate.
Is it really?
Yeah, everything's negotiable. I mean, there's some people that'll take a hard line approach. I'm not going to fix anything. Okay, well, and then others now there's more concessions. They do things in lieu of repairs. We'll credit you, X amount toward closing costs and such.
I would submit though, if you've got a lot of people looking at the property,
Mhm.
that you have a lot better chance of a smaller number of concessions because you're the listing agent and you get a unrealistic request for repairs.
Mhm.
Because something, we'll pass. We've got 6 other people that want to buy this house.
Yeah, and that happens.
Does it?
And yeah, because when they ask for the world, guess what? Oftentimes, when a buyer asks for a ridiculous amount, then the seller sometimes just says no.
Shuts off.
Yeah. And then the buyer is kind of like in that position. It's like, okay, so what do you do?
And then
do
the
we-
buyer starts getting, you get the ego factors. Well, I said I wanted this and he said no. Well, I don't care.
Yeah.
Right. So then you get a bunch of
I'm-
people that are spinning in the wind.
Well, and the fortunate thing for me in the career that I've had, I haven't had many that cancel. So you just figure out how to make it work. The goal is to make it a win-win.
Which talks about your ability to negotiate with
Mm-hmm.
and
Absolutely.
come to consensus.
I don't give up without a fight.
There you go. you want to talk to Big Irv, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Be happy to put you in touch with him. And obviously, being that he just told us he goes to Cherry Valley.
Yes.
And Paris.
Yes.
Not France.
Northridge last year.
Northridge.
Rolling Hills
Northridge
Estate,
County.
So, yeah, doesn't matter.
So Big Irv can cover big territory.
Exactly.
So if you want to talk to Big Irv, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to Josh and Sean, who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.